Hello, my name's Bill Henderson, and this video is about promoting a book that I've written called The Healing of Billy. It's about my life, starting from my childhood, and I'm going to just tell it like it is, for that's the best way that I know how to do it. The book is seeing through the eyes of a child, a 9-year-old child that stands underneath a dining room table watching his mom and dad fight as they hit each other and push each other around until the father goes into the kitchen, grabs a butcher knife, brings it back into the dining room, and threatens to commit suicide. Takes the knife, the point of the knife goes into his stomach. Mother pushes the father into the bathroom, slams the door. The child looks at the bathroom door wanting to know if his parents are going to come out alive or if they will be found dead in the bathroom. Now, that's a horrible experience for any 9-year-old child to go through. And my book tells of many different fights that my parents had, my father almost killing the whole family. And the book is about forgiveness, how forgiveness sets me free from my childhood past, the horror of it. Forgiveness allowed me to open my heart to love instead of having to hide in the shadows out of fear of whether or not you were going to live or to die, or your parents were going to kill each other. So I've learned to open my heart to love. I had to learn to accept myself for being a gay man, a sexually abused child, a mentally and physically and spiritually abused child. I went through years of heavy drinking, heavy drug use. And once I could accept my past, once I could accept myself for what happened in that time period, then I was allowed to step forward in my life and to become the man that I am. I spent a couple of years in the Marine Corps. All my life, I've heard the angels talking, I've heard my higher consciousness talking, I've heard aliens talking, I had visitations. I died at the age of 11 in a bicycle accident and was taken up into a spacecraft. I passed a lot of souls along the way asking me, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." But I kept going. And I met a man on that spacecraft, and I looked at him and I said, "Are you God?" And he said, "Isn't everyone? Isn't everything in life God?" And I was sent back to my body, scared the man half to death that had picked me up off the ground and was carrying me home to my parents. And when I snapped back into my body, the only thing I could think of was to say to him, "Don't tell my mom and dad, man. I'm going to be in big trouble because I wasn't supposed to be out here riding my bicycle." So my life continued. I lived in a house that I call the Hell House, where most of the activity took place, and the abuse and the fights and the arguments. But as life went on, I overcame the drugs, I overcame the alcohol, I overcame the child abuse, and I overcame the fear of coming out as a gay man. There's nothing like the freedom of being able to be who you are. There's nothing like being able to express yourself and to be able to feel free within yourself. To be the man or woman that you are. The tears of healing, I know that. It's embarrassing, but hey, that's the way it is. I'm healing. That's what my book is about. The healing of Billy. I always viewed myself as the bad guy. I was the devil. I was the guy that the parents didn't care about or love. I was the guy that religion came out and told me I was going to hell because I was gay. I was so confused, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. But the angels came and they talked with me and they showed me and they guided me. And they took me on a journey within myself and took me out of my body and up into a higher consciousness. And when I returned to my body, my mind was healed. Life is not easy for anyone. It's harder for some, easier for some. But this is what my book is about. My healing, my spiritual growth, my change of life, my way of thinking. It allowed me to open my heart to love and not hate. It allowed me to accept myself, and by accepting myself, I can accept others for who and what they are. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what your religious belief is. It doesn't matter what your sexuality is. The only thing that matters is that we learn to love ourselves and to love one another. My country is being torn apart because of hate. Why do we want to hate? Why don't we want to love one another and care for each other and nurture each other? Why does one religion want to fight with another religion? Why can't the governments of the world get along? It's a crazy world. I'm 65 years old now. And I don't know how much time I have left here. And it doesn't matter because I've lived a good life. I'm happy in my life. I found solitude within myself. I found the love within myself. I know what it's like to have a peaceful mind, an open heart. And maybe this video, maybe my books that I've written might help someone. It helped me, and that's what matters right now. It's about me. But if I can help somebody through my writings and teaching of love, to open the heart, to have forgiveness, then I'll be happier. Now, that's the healing of Billy. In my writings, I have been taught that the Christianity of the world and most of other religions, they only teach what they have been taught, that they go to school for, and they're told what this scripture means and that scripture means. Well, I've read it, and it sure doesn't. My representation and understanding of the Bible does not match theirs. My understanding is that Jesus taught love and peace. He didn't teach hate. He didn't say go around and hate people with colored skin. He didn't go around saying hate people who are homosexuals. He taught love. And when people get out on the street and start marching and yelling hateful things about other people, then I don't want anything to do with Christianity. I don't want anything to do with their God. That's a vengeful, angry God that points his finger at everybody else, but will not turn and point his finger at himself and say, I need to take a bigger look, a deeper look into myself and find the love inside of me so I don't have all this hate and fear of mankind. Now, in my other books, I have been shown who Satan really is. And Satan is not some being out in space, down here on earth, tempting man and trying to get everybody to go to hell. Satan was created by man. And it's because of man's creation of Satan that we have all the hate in the world, that we have all the wars in the world. Now, Lucifer is a completely different being, an angel of light that has been watching over mankind and helping mankind along its way. To me, everyone is God. God lives inside of us all. He lives in a blade of grass, in a tree, in the stars, in the sun, and the moon. That is the God that we learn to create from, whether we create hate or whether we create love. We are the gods. We are the co-creators of our reality. There's not some devil creating this reality. There's not some God in creating this reality. It's man that's creating this reality. Man likes to blame everything on everybody else, when you can stop and point your finger at yourself and say, I blame you for who you are. Because you're the one that created you. You're the one that created the hate inside of you. You're the one that created the love inside of you. Everyone has that choice. Everyone has that right. But when hate becomes used to the point that it tears down and breaks down the society, then it needs to come to a stop. And the only way it can stop is if you stop it. If we stand together in love and peace, we can stop and overcome the hate of the world. In my books, I talk about how we have reached a time where our governments of the world, and I don't mean to be an alarmist, but I'm no fool with my head in the sand either. The governments of the world, I don't care if it's capitalism, communism, I don't care if it's the Middle East, I don't care where it is on earth, where there's a government, there's a war or a war waiting to happen. We have already created weapons of mass destruction to the point that if we ever have a nuclear war, it's not going to just end mankind, it's going to end the earth, the universe, and everything in it. This is what Christians call revelations. It's happening. I see it in the world. But it doesn't mean it has to happen. All it means is that we have to be willing to get up, stand up for ourselves, and say enough is enough. All these little, it makes me sick to have to watch on TV all these candidates running around for presidency, feeding everybody a bunch of bullshit that don't matter because anything they say isn't going to happen anyway. And how the people just walk around flocking and going, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for him, I'm going to vote for... What president has ever done what he says he's going to do? Our government has reached the point where there are a bunch of little asshole kids running around in the 5th grade fighting over who's going to be in power and who's going to be the bully of the playground. We've reached a point that nobody knows the truth anymore. Nobody knows what's going on. We've been fed so much propaganda. We have terrorists living in the country, walking around our country, but yet we're overseas fighting terrorism. World War II, we went over, we fought the Germans, we defeated the Germans. And yet we have to stand around here in America and listen to them preach about Nazism. If they want to live here, then let them stay in their little groups, stay back in the background and do whatever they want to do. But when you get out into the streets and start teaching hate and preaching hate, that's wrong. My website is www.thehealingofbilly.com. I have free writings in there. I talk a little bit about my book. My book's for sale for $10. It's 3 volumes. And I have 7 other books that I've written. And the books have love in it, and it also has tough love in it, because I'm expressing the way I feel about everything that I can think of. I don't see myself as a terrorist because I own no weapons. I plan on owning no weapons. I do not want to hurt anybody. I'm a very peaceful man. But I've had enough, and I'm going to have my say. And that will be my legacy. When I leave here, I'm going to leave here with love in my heart, not hate. Peace.